What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to part 3 of Diego Maradona in Football Manager 2019. Before we go any further, just want to apologise for the fact that this episode hasn't been as quick to come as I hoped it would be. Obviously, the LAN series kicked off. If you've not been watching that, I recommend going and checking it out. It's all getting pretty exciting at the moment. And yeah, hopefully we are going to be able to do more of these legend videos more frequently. Just with the start of a new series, I wanted to, put all my focus into that. And well, now I want to start spreading the love across, some of the other videos that we've been doing here on the channel. So yes, today we're going to be wrapping up Maradona. Right now, I am in the process of deciding the next legend in Football Manager that we're going to do. It's going to be a goalkeeper, and it's currently a poll open to my Patreon supporters, so they will be having the final say. At the time of seeing this video, if you watch it immediately, there is still time to go and cast a vote if you are a supporter, or if you're not a supporter yet and you want to, you can go over, sign up and leave a vote. And, well, yeah, let's get into this, shall we? So, last time I left you, Maradona was, well, on the verge of leaving Monaco. And as you can see here, he has left and he has joined Tottenham. And, to be honest, he looks pretty good at Tottenham at 31 years old. You can see he actually joined, of course, on a free transfer. He played 31 of Tottenham's 38 league games this year. An average rating, actually, the exact same as the previous year. And you can see just how consistent Diego was over the 10 years he was at Monaco. And he's kind of picked up that consistency and maintained it here at Tottenham. You can see, just looking at Tottenham Hotspur in the league, they are top of the league if I'm not mistaken. You can see he's been playing in this centre attacking mid role for them. And he's been doing pretty good. If we just look at the Premier League, oh, you can see here, Spurs have been a pretty good side. They won the league last year, or in fact this year. Last year, where did they come pre-Maradona? I'm just wondering what kind of difference he has made. So last year they finished third with 83 points. This year, 94 points. 90 goals scored for is an absolutely crazy total, though. You can see he is considered their key player, not entirely surprising. In terms of how they got on in other competitions, in the Champions League, they actually got knocked out to Real Madrid in the first knockout round. They did win the FA Cup against Manchester City, so that's a pretty decent achievement there. And in the Carabao Cup, they lost in the quarter-final. Actually, they got spanked by Man City there, so a little bit disappointing. Just one other thing I want to mention now. I'm using a slightly updated version of my skin, my custom one, today, that I've not used in any other videos, but as part of some fixes with clipping, some of the fonts and text has been made smaller. So if you're watching this, please do let me know if you're having trouble with some of the smaller fonts. Obviously, last video, no one really made any complaints. In all my LAN episodes, no one's made any complaints. If you're watching this and struggling, let me know so I know not to, well, to go back to the larger font, essentially, going forward. I want to throw that out there now for people wondering. But yes, Maradona, the only non-regen in this Tottenham Hotspur side. Going to be interesting to see, can they keep things going now? Can they keep winning the league? Obviously, Maradona's not the youngest player here at 31 years old. I don't think he's retired from international duty just yet. You can see here, favourite clubs. Obviously, we added in a few of his favourite clubs. From his younger days, you can see Monaco listed as a favourite club. Obviously, he was there for a while, but also Tottenham, which is kind of surprising. You can see in terms of favourite personnel, actually Thierry Henry, who's currently Liverpool manager, he was at Monaco, you can see, for 6 years and was actually the person who brought Maradona to the side. He has broken 100 caps for Argentina as well. They've got a World Cup next summer, so it's going to be interesting to see how they get on there. You can see he is their captain, and in the world rankings, they are currently ranked second, so they're going pretty strong. He probably has one more World Cup left in him next summer, and well, it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on. You can see he has a 2 more years left on his deal, so I think we'll go to the end of 2035, see how Diego's looking. Is he going to be sticking out with Tottenham, or, is he going to have fallen off a cliff? Take note of his stats here, particularly his physicals. I think we're about to see them tumble. Okay guys, so we are back. We've gone to 2035. Diego has signed an extra year on a contract. He's also continued to play for Argentina. I feel like the go-to thing to start with is just to see how they did get it on in that World Cup a couple of summers ago now. So you can see here, in the third round they lost to Scotland. That's not what I expected to happen. You can see he did score, to be fair, against Costa Rica and Croatia. They lost. I mean, where did Scotland come? Who won the World Cup? Belgium won it. Can we have a look at the matches previously? Algeria in the final. Argentina to host the next World Cup. Will be interesting to see if Maradona sticks it out for that. I'd be amazed if he did. Algeria got to a final. That can't be the final, can it? That can't be. Was that actually? And then Austria got to the other. I don't believe. I'm verifying this. I need to. I mean, imagine if they'd won it. Yeah, they got to the final. They knocked out Scotland and Sweden. I mean, maybe the new World Cup format, you know, with the extra teams, is going to throw some real odd results out there. But Algeria getting that far does surprise me. England losing on penalties in the semi-final to Belgium does not as an Englishman. But yes, Diego, who we should be focusing on here, but Algeria have stolen his thunder a little bit. He's gone on to make 129 caps here. We can see if we just look at his information. He has a preference to play for Boca. Will he go back to Boca? That could be interesting to see if he still does that. Of course, his physicals have now started to tumble off. To be fair, his mentals have got better and they probably will continue to improve. But yeah, despite his good natural fitness, which could see him play for a little while yet, his overall acceleration and pace just isn't quite there anymore. You know, to knock the ball past the opponent to try and beat the offside trap might be a little bit of a struggle for him. Although actually beating the offside trap might help him with his lack of pace. It might help him compensate. In the last 2 years, what has he done at Tottenham? So he played 22 games and then 25 games. Definitely slowed down a little bit. If we just look at the injuries, has he had major injuries? It looks like he has. He had a hip injury in 2033 and was out for 3 months with that. And then he tore a thigh muscle this season, has been out for 2 months with that. So that's actually 2 pretty hefty injuries to have to deal with in the last 2 years. So that definitely has contributed to his decline. If we look at his milestones here, he's actually won the Premier League again with Tottenham and the UEFA Super Cup. Let's have a look at this quickly. What have Tottenham been winning if we just look at the Premier League? Their media prediction was first. So Tottenham, apparently a very, very good team. You can see they got 96 points this year. They didn't win it, actually, between the 2 years that they've just won it. City did win it last year. I find it interesting, actually. He wasn't in their last starting 11. I don't think that would have been because he was injured. I guess maybe he's just falling off a little bit. I mean, who is their replacement man? It's this guy, Joaquim. 21. I mean, he looks good. He's not quite on the level of Maradona. But obviously, Diego is probably on his way out. 1 year left on his contract to 2036. I do wonder how much longer he will keep playing. Of course, Pelé retired quite young. Pelé didn't take a step down after Manchester United when we did him in Football Manager. You can see here, looking at his milestones, he did win the Champions League, actually, last year. That's a big achievement, worth noting. So, a Champions League winner medal for Diego Maradona. If we just look at his awards, did he win anything here? He was, I guess we should look at Premier League awards, shouldn't we? That would be a good thing to look at, just in general. So let's have a look. Footballer of the Year. He actually won it the first year he was playing in England. That's pretty impressive. He broke a little winning run of, well, previously Chelsea and Manchester United players for the previous 8 years. In terms of Player of the Year, he did also win it, and then Luciano Sim has gone on to win it since. Holy crap, that guy's physicals are pretty good. Yeah, you can see here, 27 years old, very, very good Brazilian international, of course. If we just look at the Team of the Year, was he in it this year? He wasn't actually in it this year. What about the year before that? Was he on the bench? No, apparently not. The year before that, he did make it in at centre mid. I find it curious just how he's got on. What about the world's best 11? I feel like he's not going to re-enter it now, so now's probably the best chance and the best time to just have a look and see. I didn't want to look at the World Cup though. I want to look at the overall world awards, please, game, if we could. Award winners. So, in terms of the Ballon d'Or, for the first time in a while, Pellegrini hasn't won it. He's been absolutely insane. He won it a load at Monaco. He's gone to Real Madrid and continued to win it. I mean, this guy has had an absolutely nutty career in this save. It has to be said. I mean, I've never seen him do this well, Pellegrini, as he's done in this save. If we just look at other awards here, if I can get to the right drop down. Best player, Maradona did win it in 2032. Hey, look at that. That's not a bad achievement at all. He got 27 goals and 17 assists in 52 games. He did actually win it a couple of years before that as well. In terms of the Team of the Year, has he appeared in this much at all? I feel like last time we checked he hadn't. He did appear in it in 2033 and he did appear in it in 2032 and actually for the years, but a couple of years before that as well while he was at Monaco. And he is in the all seasons best 11. You can see here 354 appearances, 183 goals, a 7.6 average rating. I mean, Pellegrini's average rating across 660 games is over an 8. I don't understand. That's mental. That is actually mad. Anyway, we're going to go forward once more, I think. I'm going to go to whenever he retires. I'm going to holiday forward indefinitely. We'll see how long Maradona keeps on trucking. And, well, we'll be back in just a second to see how the latter years of his career ended up playing out. Okay, guys, so I've actually had to go forward further than I expected. The year is 2038. Maradona is 37 years old. We're not back in June. We're back on December 29th, one day before Diego here is going to retire from football. It's a sad day. His physicals have definitely seen better days at this point. To be fair, natural fitness and balance still right up there. But yes, after that extra year at Tottenham, that 4th year at the club, he'd made the move to Atlanta for £12 million to play in MLS. And his average ratings have been underwhelming at best. Now, I haven't got MLS loaded because I did not expect MLS to do that well. But they did win the MLS Cup back in 2037 with him playing for them, which I guess is an achievement. Is the MLS a retirement league? I feel like it's trying to break those chains, but Maradona hasn't got the memo. Of course, Atlanta known for bringing in a lot of South American players, so kind of interesting that the AI ended up picking him up. You can see he did win the Premier League that last year that he had at Tottenham in 2035, and they also won the Community Shield before he moved on to play for Atlanta, where they did pick up this competition, Campeones Cup. What is this cup? I've never heard of it. Apparently Atlanta play in it and win it from time to time. I guess it's some kind of North American championship, maybe between the winner of Mexico and MLS. That's my guess. Please let me know, North American viewers, if I'm right or wrong. But yes, he really hasn't done that great. I did holiday further into the future, and despite having really okay attributes in general, I think Diego wanted to be a manager and no one would give him a management job because of these kind of ability stats. So he just retired at the end of his kind of playing career. Like, I went forward, I think, 2 years, and he just didn't exist in the game anymore. So he just didn't get a coaching job. But yeah, despite being a real life manager, of course, in the second tier of Mexico, he hasn't done that great here, at least in terms of the game. Hasn't given him the best managerial capability, shall we say. To be fair, he's still a pretty blooming good player. Worth noting, he ended up getting 141 caps for Argentina. If we just look at their stats, they lost in the World Cup quarter-final to Italy. He has retired, I'm pretty certain, by this point. I wonder if we can find out his last game for the club. But whatever way you look at it, yeah, he ended up mustering up 140 appearances in the end. So didn't get that World Cup in the end, which is a bit of a shame. But to be fair, he had a pretty successful career. Maybe he could have done more at Monaco. I'm kind of surprised he didn't end up going and playing, for Napoli or Barcelona or, going to, well, either of those countries, really. He didn't end up in Spain or Italy. He ended up spending most of his career in France after that early move to Portugal. And he was pretty loyal to all the teams he played at. And with the exception of the last 2 years, he did pretty blooming well. You can see here, he did just end up getting injury after injury. He broke his ankle in 2036 towards the end of the MLS season. But yeah, he definitely had some longer term injuries. I didn't have the injury proneness that high on Maradona. I think it was around 8. Obviously, that is going to have changed over the course of this save, and he did get pretty unfortunate with injuries, as it turns out. But nevertheless, he did pretty good in the end. So, yeah, to wrap things up here, we'll just have a look at his biography, if I can remember. Where is biography now? Is it just in overview? Milestones? It's in milestones, Jack. Here you go. You can pause this, have a read through. You can see here, he won a lot of awards over the years. World Cup Golden Boot runner-up. World Cup Best Player he actually won. What year did he win that? He won it... Oh, of course, in real... That's funny, because of the way this database is set up, of course. He won it previously, before we made him 16 again, before he hopped in a time machine. It's kind of weird, actually. Some of his biography is blended with his earlier playing career. But, yeah, you can have a look through some of the awards here. Obviously, he did pretty well in terms of the success he had. He did okay. He did okay, it's fair to say, Maradona. As I said, surprised he didn't end up at a bigger club, but he did prove his worth. He made one hell of a commitment to Monaco. And they didn't win a load of silverware with him, but they won some, and he put up a pretty good fight against PSG, I feel like, throughout the 10 years he was at the club. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up everything from me today. As I said, the next Legend in FM is going to be a Patreon pick. It's going to be one of 3 goalkeepers who are currently up in a poll. You can find out more on the Patreon page if you are a Patreon supporter. Obviously, if you enjoy this kind of content, do leave a like on it. If you've got any comments with regards to the skin, the font size, let me know down below. If it's a bit too small, I'll go back to the older version or increase the size of the font. Obviously, I want to make the viewing experience as best as possible for you. And yeah, that is going to wrap up everything from me today, guys. A massive thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.